The Laginas and their team have been tirelessly digging at Aladdin's cave, uncovering man-made workings that only add to the mystery of Oak Island. However, the team's exploration continues further. Whether it's scouring the money pit and investigating unknown areas on the island, the question on everyone's mind is, what will they uncover next? Could it be valuable historical manuscripts or treasures like gold and silver abandoned by the Knights Templar? Or perhaps something more precious worth protecting at all costs, even if it means sacrificing human lives? Join us as we delve into how the Aladdin's Cave revealed man-made workings. Part 1. Back to work. A new day has started on Oak Island for Rick, Marty Lagina, and their team. But instead of diving into new treasure hunting activities immediately, they are dealing with an issue in the money pit area. There's a problem with water seeping down from the walls, creating a setback for their search efforts. The question arises, where's that coming from, Roger? The recent heavy rain in southern Nova Scotia made things worse. Unrelated to natural causes, something triggered a continuous water flow into the garden shaft at a depth of around 66 feet. Although only 10 inches of water fell in that area, not the expected 30 feet, there's a question. Could this be the flood? Regardless of whether the water source is connected to the legendary flood tunnels that have puzzled treasure hunters for over 2 centuries, it has stopped the team's current work. They plan to dig the garden shaft from its 87-foot depth to nearly 100 feet. At that point, they hope to break through a mysterious 7-ton-high tunnel heading west toward the Baby Blob, where they've detected significant traces of gold, silver, and other metals between 80 and 120 feet underground. Last year, hardly any water entered that shaft. Is it possible that this is the flood tunnel causing their issues? They're investigating because they might be very close to discovering the treasure. To stop the inflow of water, representatives from Dumis Contracting Limited will use the exploratory holes they've drilled to fill the mysterious voids outside the shaft with multi-urethane, an industrial-grade compound that expands as it dries, sealing off open spaces. The goal is to extend the garden shaft to the top of the previously unknown tunnel. However, achieving this goal seems challenging, with 700 gallons per hour on that shaft. This presents difficult issues that must be resolved. The team can only accomplish their goal if they stop the water from intruding into the shaft. Once they seal everything and everything is solid, they plan to get down there and start digging again. Keen interest surrounds how this will turn out. Roger is tasked with keeping everyone posted as the team from Dumis continues their work in the garden shaft. While the team from Dumis battled within the garden shaft, Peter, the archaeologist, and his team, including Lindy Martin and other members, converged on a mysterious circular structure near the shoreline in Lot 5. This mysterious structure had become a central focus for the team's investigation into the Oak Island secrets. After the recent storm, there were concerns about its condition, so they checked it thoroughly. Peter thought they could still work there, and then the team removed the cover that protected the circular structure. Even though it was almost a mile from the money pit area, this feature gave them important clues for solving the island's mysteries. As they uncovered a large ancient structure, they noticed a handle-like item sticking out from the debris. In the past few weeks, scientists have connected this structure to Sir William Phipps, a 17th-century English politician and privateer. According to legend, Phipps buried a valuable Spanish gold and silver stash in the money pit in 1687. The excitement grew as the team found a lead barter token near the outer edge, possibly linked to a 14th-century lead cross discovered in 2017 at Smith's Cove. The puzzle pieces fit together, suggesting a complex and interconnected history. Despite the challenges of the storm, the archaeologists continued their careful work amid the debris. A scan of the area with magnetometry showed signs of a larger, potentially older structure beneath the surface. Undeterred, the team decided to explore deeper into the island's mysteries. Fueled by anticipation, the archaeologists believed this circular feature could be crucial in solving the Oak Island mystery as they continued the investigation on Lot 5. A mile away from Lot 5, the team prepared the boat for a new exploration. Marty Lagina, driven by his strong curiosity, joined others at the Money Pit area. They focused on a mysterious opening named Aladdin's Cave, situated about 60 feet southwest of the garden shaft. The excitement was palpable as they waited for a sonar scan of this mysterious space, which extended more than 150 feet into the island. "We've maxed out the settings, so hopefully we can get a really quick scan of the 10-foot void that we're into," Marty explained, eager to uncover the secrets hidden within Aladdin's Cave. With a high-tech Echidna 710 sonar device, the team embarked on this journey to better understand the cavern's structure. Their interest in Aladdin's Cave began a year ago during a core drilling operation that revealed a large space. The sonar data recorded on the western side suggested a potential tunnel entrance, and water samples collected from the cavity showed traces of wood and precious metals. The team had inserted a camera through a new borehole in the cavern's center just a week before, discovering more signs of possible human-made structures. With the sonar scan in progress, Marty and the team aim to create a definitive 3D map of Aladdin's Cave, hoping to confirm if it is truly a man-made feature holding something valuable. As the sonar device went into the murky waters of Aladdin's Cave, Marty stressed the importance of keeping an open mind about the possibility of multiple treasure spaces on the island. The sonar, made to go through sediment and muddy water, aimed to uncover human-made structures like shelves, timbers, or chests. "We're entering the cavity now," Marty announced with excitement in his voice. The sonar scan started, and as the picture appeared, the team saw an unusual shape, a crescent moon. Marty guided the scan, hoping to spot signs of a tunnel or entrance. The sonar images displayed clear straight lines, challenging the idea that they were natural formations. The atmosphere on the boat filled with anticipation as the team studied the sharp and clear images. A distinct edge grabbed their attention, leading to questions. Could they be close to discovering a significant man-made structure inside Aladdin's Cave? The answers lie hidden in the murky mysteries of Oak Island. Part 2. Man-made workings in Aladdin's Cave. In the Money Pit area on Oak Island, Rick, Marty, and other team members study the new sonar data that indicates possible evidence of man-made workings, some 150 feet deep in Aladdin's Cave. Steve thinks the straight lines in the cave do not look natural, and Paul agrees with him. He thinks they will see the lines better when Steve puts them in the 3D model. Terry Matheson thinks that the characterization of this opening is going to give them a lot of information as to how people proceeded in the past to dig and work below 106 in the Money Pit area. And as the team was conversing, Rick saw something and told Paul to rotate the solar diagram. As Paul rotates it, Terry immediately sees a potential slope in the cave, probably made of sand, and another slope bearing whatever might be on the floor. Marty also sees a pretty square wall along one side and thinks there's only one explanation. Something man-made in the cave with a sort of treasure deposit. Based on the data that the team has, they are looking at the western part of the cave, which is probably the biggest part. But most importantly, they are still looking for the origin of the cave. Marty is more concerned about finding a way into the cave, and the experts assure him that if they follow the direction of the slope and see a continuation, there will probably be a way through the cave, and then the team agrees to put a drill hole in it. Rick is anxious to see a way into Aladdin's Cave, as he thinks that there's a possibility that treasure does reside there. But then, all things Oak Island are incremental. The experts can see a bit of an echo somewhere in the cave, so maybe there is an opening. They would drill in the direction of the echo and put a camera down into it, hoping to learn something new and then decide how to proceed. Rick reminds the team that they need to make a proper sound assessment of what this represents and that there are two ways to do it. One is to put another drill hole down and put it on a more detailed, outward-looking scan. They all affirmed, and then Marty called it a day for the day's work. The next day, the team eagerly continued their search for answers by drilling a new borehole called L3.5, strategically placed to gather more information from Aladdin's Cave. At the same time, the Dumis representatives worked persistently to stop water from entering the garden shaft. Over at the Interpretive Center, Craig Tester, Peter Fornetti, Jack Bergley, and archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan met with blacksmithing expert Carmen Legge. The focus was on examining intriguing artifacts on Lot 5, a metal strap and a heavy fastener discovered in the circular structure. An experienced blacksmith, Carmen closely inspected the artifacts, recognizing their unique features. The metal strap and fastener suggested they could be part of a chest or trunk from the 17th century. This revelation sparked curiosity, leading to connections to Sir William Phipps and the rumored Spanish treasure buried on Oak Island in 1687. Emma had meticulously processed the artifacts with specialized scanning devices, revealing the intricate details hidden beneath the corrosion. The scans indicated a clasp from a small chest, possibly dating back to the 17th century, aligning with Carmen's expertise. Another discovery, a quickly made nail, caught attention due to its simple construction, indicating a practical purpose. Carmen and Emma agreed on a time range, suggesting the early 1600s to the 1700s. Emma noticed a chemistry consistent with the pre-1800s, possibly even the 1600s. The collaboration of two different fields added credibility to the artifact's age. After concluding their meeting with Carmen at the Interpretive Center, archaeologists Helen Sheldon and Moya MacDonald focused on excavating the mysterious feature on Lot 5. With rainwater successfully removed, their attention shifted to identifying soil changes, a crucial part of their investigation. As the archaeologists dug into the soil, they eagerly searched for clues and made a new and potentially important discovery. The atmosphere was filled with excitement as they carefully examined what they found. Helen thinks it looks like a barrel strap, and Moya agrees, pointing out a nail attached to the strap. The nail stood out, looking different from regular iron and having a greenish tint. Their discovery caught the attention of blacksmithing expert Carmen Legge, who happened to be there at the right time. The team shared their find, a piece of a barrel strap with a nail showing a greenish copper tint. Carmen explained that the object was made of two different metals, copper, which is resistant to corrosion, and iron. Carmen thinks that this was probably used for barrels to transport goods. Making connections, the team recalled finding pieces of wooden cargo barrels 3 years ago near the Stone Road or Ship's Pier in the swamp. Those discoveries hinted at a significant operation to transfer cargo from a large sailing vessel to the Money Pit, potentially when the swamp acted as an open harbor. Carmen believed the barrel pieces were centuries old, adding to their historical importance. The team now wondered about the link between the barrel strap on Lot 5 and the previously found barrel pieces. Could this offer more proof supporting the idea that Lot 5 played a role in activities related to the Money Pit? The team's thoughts gained momentum as they considered the chance that Lot 5 was a base for preparations when constructing the Money Pit. With their discovery, Helen and Moya carefully preserved the artifact, planning to take it to the lab for further analysis by Emma. Meanwhile, Jack, eager to contribute to the ongoing search, joined Helen and Moya in exploring the area for clues that could reveal additional secrets to the island's history. Moving closer to finding answers, the team at the Money Pit eagerly awaited the latest core sample from borehole L3.5, hoping for evidence from the mysterious Aladdin's Cave. Terry Matheson and Oak Island historian Charles Barkhouse supervised the drilling, strategically positioned to reach the large cavity about 150 feet underground. Mike, part of the drilling team, gave an update. He had encountered the cavern at around 141 feet, mentioning a small open space before hitting bedrock and gravel. Then Steve, part of the excavation team, added confirmation, saying they were the cavity. The next step was to run a camera down the borehole to explore the cavity and gather valuable data. The prevailing belief was that Aladdin's Cave, not being natural, could be a man-made structure with possible connections to the treasure. With preparations complete, the team eagerly lowered the camera into Aladdin's Cave. The camera, designed to operate in low-light conditions and featuring a 360-degree panning lens, provided a comprehensive view of the surroundings. The team, including Terry and Steve, watched the monitor, hoping to unveil the secrets hidden within the depths. Terry emphasized how the cave is probably the most interesting feature in the Money Pit to him, because of its huge structure, almost 30 feet wide, with traces of gold and silver in the water and wood organics, and that it's the most promising location for an offset chain, a potential treasure location. As the camera descended into Aladdin's cave's dark waters, the team watched the monitor to see what was around. They carefully looked at the images, trying to find any signs of tunnels or treasures, even though the water was unclear. The team kept going, hoping to get a clearer view. The camera's lens showed broken edges, straight lines, and a possibly damaged cavern wall. The team studied the images, stopping to look closely at what seemed like the edge of a wall. An exciting moment happened when the camera caught what might be a human-made entrance, stirring up sediment with its movement. The team, including Alex, eagerly watched the footage. The images showed something that looked like an opening or the start of a hallway. One team member said that it looked like a tunnel. The team's excitement led Alex to bring in Oak Island historian Terry Matheson to share the groundbreaking news. The idea of a human-made entrance into Aladdin's cave sparked anticipation about possible discoveries beyond. As Terry joined the team, they lowered the camera deeper into the cavity. The footage showed a clear open area between two sidewalls, leading to speculation about what this space could be. However, the murky water made it hard to see clearly, leading the team to explore different approaches. Steve, a team member, proposed using sonar to grasp the cave's size better. They agreed to perform a sonar scan from the new position to better understand the features of the potential tunnel entrance. The next day, the Dumais Contracting Limited team carried on in their quest to reveal the hidden secrets of the garden shaft. Jack Begley, Jamie Kuba, Moya McDonald, and Fiona Steele were engaged in the careful investigation, meticulously peeling back layers of the mysterious stone foundation near the shoreline on Lot 5. As they went deeper into the excavation, Jack noticed loose rocks, signaling the need for careful removal. The team remained focused, sifting through the soil and uncovering artifacts and features that hinted at a significant historical structure. Moya shared her observations, saying that now that they were in those big rocks and could barely do anything, it was a sign that this part of the structure was a wall. Examining the exposed features, the team speculated that they might reveal a habitation or structure predating the Money Pit. Fiona emphasizes that digging up these features and recovering all the artifacts could tell them who the mysterious structure constructors were and whether or not they are related to the Money Pit story. However, as they continued their excavation, they faced the challenge of deciphering the structure's layout. The collapsed rocks and uncertain alignments added a layer of complexity to their interpretation. Jamie said that she expected to find a pretty much intact wall, but she now thinks it's possible it was a taller wall and collapsed in on itself. She highlighted interesting aspects of the exposed rocks, indicating the potential presence of both sides of a rock wall, with one side having sterile soil and the other potentially revealing more structure. With their curiosity sparked, the team expressed a wish to consult with Laird Niven, a specialist known for his expertise in historical structures on Oak Island. The prospect of uncovering another section of the mysterious feature fueled them to dig deeper into the deliberately buried layer below. Laird Niven joined Jack Begley and the team to examine a potentially important finding recently revealed in the mysterious stone foundation. Jack briefed Laird on their discoveries, suggesting they might uncover a wall feature. The idea that the structure could be taller than expected and have collapsed fascinated the team. The intricate historical puzzle of Oak Island seemed to be revealing itself. Jack also discussed the interesting link between the dark soil they were exposing and the artifacts found nearby, especially iron pieces and nails. Laird examined the evidence and proposed that the magnetometer data indicated the presence of at least the intact base of a wall on all four sides, heightening excitement within the team. The confirmation that this feature was more extensive than initially thought raised intriguing questions about its intentional burial. The artifacts found inside, connected to Sir William Phipps, added an extra layer of mystery. Rick Lagina and Craig Tester joined Scott Barlow in the Money Pit area, where members of Dumais Contracting Limited are struggling to stop the mysterious flow of water that continues to flood the garden shaft. Scott reports that they had some issues inside the shaft wall while drilling and trying to find the source of the water, and now the water's coming in at quite a rate. It was raised about a foot an hour in the shaft. Roger has a camera down there and would send some pictures and video to the surface. In Roger's video feed, the water flows into the shaft at very high pressure, has not slowed down, and is going up to 4 feet. Then he notices something at the back of the wooden layer covering the pit wall. He looks to see what's inside the wall hole and takes a picture of the unexpected things behind the hole. Roger comes to the surface and shows the team the picture that he captured. It looked like a little cavern filled with timber. There is a long void in there, and the timbers look 1x6 laid on each other, which is weird. Is this possibly connected to an offset chamber or a previously unknown void, cavity, or tunnel? And might it lead somewhere? One certain thing is that the cavity is thought-provoking at the very least. But they would only know what it is once they get down there and see with their eyes, so Rich calls for them to enlarge the hole to investigate the cavern. Could a frustrating setback for the team have led to a potential breakthrough discovery that may help them solve the Oak Island mystery? Unfortunately, they must first stop the water flow into the garden shaft before they can find out. Ironically, 200 years after the first shaft was dug, they dealt with the same issues as the first treasure hunters: water coming in. But on some level, that's what makes the island very interesting. Since the money pit was found in 1795, the Oak Island mystery has been like a complicated puzzle missing important parts. Now, with the hard work of Rick, Marty, Craig, and their team, they are putting together the missing pieces to understand what happened. The big question remains, will the island let them uncover all the answers? Part 3. Sir William Phipps's connection. A new day of exploration begins on Oak Island, particularly in the legendary Money Pit area. Brothers Rick and Marty Lagina, their partner, Craig Tester, and the team are optimistic that they might be on the verge of solving the 227-year-old treasure mystery. During discussions about the drill readings, it becomes evident that they are in a crucial area that could lead to important discoveries. Over the past 2 weeks, while strategically drilling, the team has encountered a mysterious air-filled void twice, around 60 feet deep. This has sparked speculation about the potential discovery of a secret chamber connected to the original money pit. Utilizing a new drill hole called AB 13.5, the team aims to reach the elusive offset chamber, or whatever might be buried deep underground. The excitement is tangible, as they anticipate hitting something significant. The ultimate goal extends beyond finding gold. It involves unraveling how and why it was hidden. The team eagerly awaits the core samples, hoping they contain clues to Oak Island's mysterious past. Later that morning, Terry Matheson oversees the ongoing drilling in the money pit area, creating a sense of anticipation. In the war room, Rick Lagina, his brother Marty, and their team meet with Scott Clark, a Freeman Mason from Toronto. Scott presents intriguing information that could provide insights into the Oak Island mystery. Scott explores a theory connecting Sir William Phipps to the salvage of the Concepcion treasure. The Concepcion, a Spanish galleon, sank in 1641 off the northern coast of Hispaniola, now the modern-day Dominican Republic, with over 100 tons of silver and gold on board. In 1687, Sir William Phipps led an expedition to salvage the Concepcion treasure, employing innovative freedivers for the mission. The success of this salvage operation marked a significant moment in Phipps's life, propelling him into higher society and earning him a knighthood from King James. However, Phipps's subsequent expedition in 1688 yielded much less treasure than his initial endeavor. Captain Andrew Belcher, a Freemason and wealthy merchant from Cambridge, Massachusetts, played a crucial role in supporting Phipps during these salvage operations. Scott unveils a crucial 1688 letter placing Belcher near Oak Island when Phipps returned from the salvage mission. This discovery hints at a direct link between Captain Belcher and Phipps and the potential treasure transfer to Oak Island. The intrigue deepens as Scott presents a 1701 map. which he believes is a literal treasure map connecting the Concepcion treasure to the Oak Island area. Created by Herman Moll, a renowned cartographer and friend to sailors, the map labels the Concepcion wreck as Sir William Phips Plate Wreck and includes an intriguing addition, La Plata, which means the silver near Oak Island. The team engages in a thoughtful discussion about the implications of these findings. The map's unique annotations raise questions about why the silver near Oak Island is explicitly labeled. Scott emphasizes the importance of these discoveries, suggesting a direct connection between Phips, Captain Belshire, Freemasonry, and the potential treasure hidden on Oak Island. As the revelations unfold, the team recognizes the need for further investigation into Captain Andrew Belshire's background and connections. Scott's meticulous research has opened up new avenues for exploration in their relentless pursuit of unraveling the mysterious history of Oak Island. Later in the afternoon, attention returns to the Money Pit, where Craig Tester, Charles, geologist Terry Matt, and treasure hunter Dan Henske gather to oversee the drilling at borehole AB 13.5. This location is carefully chosen to reach a potential man-made cavern or chamber about 70 feet below the surface. As Craig Tester arrives, the team eagerly anticipates extracting the core from the drill, hoping for signs of a significant discovery. The drill has reached a depth of 67 feet. This time, there's no indication of a bubble or blowout. When the core is brought up, the team examines it, but unfortunately, there are no immediate signs of a cavity or opening. The dense material, above and below the targeted depth, poses a challenge, and the presence of cobbles may contribute to the need for distinct features. Despite drilling just 2.5 feet from the previous mysterious point hit at 70 feet, it seems that borehole AB 13.5 has yet to hit the target this time. The absence of notable artifacts or openings raises questions about the precision of the drilling and the challenges posed by the geological composition. Recognizing the uncertainty, the team discusses exploring another hole in a northward direction. Gary Drayton, joined by Rick and Marty's nephews David and Peter Fernetti, revisits Lot 4 on the west side of Oak Island. This area has recently produced interesting clues, like a cutting tool and a gold-plated English button from the late 17th century. The team returns, hoping to uncover more pieces of the puzzle. During their metal detecting expedition, the group scans the ground for signals. Despite finding some modern debris, like a tin can, they stay focused. Suddenly, Gary gets a promising signal, leading to the discovery of a piece of copper sheathing buried underground. This finding, linked to shipbuilding practices, adds another layer to Oak Island's maritime history. Gary explains that copper sheathing was used in the 1700s to protect ship hulls from marine organisms. The team reflects on this discovery, considering how Oak Island's coastal erosion might reveal traces of past maritime activities. The next day, the drilling operation in the Money Pit area continued with borehole AB 13.5. Unfortunately, this attempt seems to have missed the target, leaving the team with more questions than answers. Meanwhile, on the island's western side, Gary, along with David and Peter, teams up with treasure hunter Michael John and heavy equipment operator Billy Gerhardt to explore the southern edge of the swamp. This part of the mysterious triangle-shaped swamp has recently revealed intriguing discoveries, including deck planking, tools related to ships, and a trapezoid-shaped artifact from the late 17th century. During their metal detecting efforts, the team uncovers a piece of wood resembling ship decking. Gary suggests it could be linked to marine activities, possibly from the golden age of piracy between 1650 and 1750. The discussion shifts to Fred Nolan's past swamp discoveries, suggesting the area might have been manipulated to hide a treasure-laden galleon. As more ship-related artifacts are found, pieces of wood, potentially from an old sailing ship, are carefully gathered for further study. Still in the swamp, Gary and the team come across a shaped wooden fragment that seems to be part of a smaller nautical vessel, possibly a rail. This finding leads to speculation about the presence of ships or ship-related artifacts in the swamp, adding another layer to the mystery. Later that afternoon, Alex Lagina and his cousin David met with blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg at the research center on Oak Island. They bring along one of the team's recent discoveries, a piece of copper sheeting found on Lot 4. Carmen carefully examines the copper sheeting, pointing out its basic rolling marks and visible impurities in the metal. The nail holes and a right-angle bend suggest this piece might have been part of a box or container. Carmen notes that the corners would have been folded on both sides, indicating their use in protecting valuable items. During the discussion, Carmen revealed that this type of copper sheeting could be very old, possibly dating back to the 1100s. This revelation surprises the team, meaning that the artifact's ancient origins. Alex and David are particularly fascinated by the notion that the copper sheeting could be linked to a treasure chest protecting valuable contents. The conversation delves into Oak Island's historical context, touching upon the search for evidence related to Zena Halbern's theory. Zena had presented maps suggesting that the Knights Templar visited Oak Island between the 12th and 14th centuries. The team wonders if the copper sheeting, similar to other ancient artifacts found on the island, could be evidence supporting Zena's theory. Carmen's insights into the age of the copper sheeting align with the possibility that Oak Island served as a repository over multiple generations. The team considers the significance of these finds from Lot 4, contemplating that various individuals may have deposited treasures on the island throughout history. The artifact's discovery prompts questions about the mysterious activities on Lot 4, especially given that it falls outside the documented historical records of the island. Alex expresses gratitude for Carmen's analysis, and the team acknowledges the need to investigate Lot 4 further to uncover additional clues. As a new day begins on Oak Island, Rick Lagina actively oversees the search for clues and potential treasures at the southern edge of the swamp. Meanwhile, Marty Lagina gathers the team in the research center, including partner Craig Tester and project manager Scott Barlow, for a crucial meeting to discuss the ongoing drilling operation in the Money Pit. Marty starts the meeting with humor, highlighting the collective brainpower in the room. The team is gearing up for a significant discussion, and Marty introduces a theory that he wants to share concerning the recent drilling in hole AB13. He revisits the idea that the mysterious air-filled void discovered during drilling might be a man-made gas trap instead of a natural occurrence. Marty speculates about the potential presence of an offset chamber or an existing flood tunnel. He admits to being a longtime skeptic of the flood tunnel theory, but presents a new perspective. The team delves into the details of the unexpected discovery a week ago: eelgrass and coconut fiber found in the void. Marty suggests these materials could act as a filter in a man-made flood tunnel, preventing debris from entering. The discussion revolves around the potential existence of a flood tunnel that feeds seawater directly into the Money Pit. Marty seizes the moment to outline his theory, sketching to illustrate how the flood tunnel might intentionally have a bump or obstacle. He explains that air introduced into the system during the team's drilling efforts over the years might have created a trapped air pocket. Marty suggests that the recent drilling could have accidentally breached this pocket. The team discusses the elevation view, considering the Smith's Cove topography, and how a bump in the flood tunnel could naturally trap air. Marty emphasizes that the flood tunnel might have been unintentionally compromised over time if it were real. As the team gears up to dig up to 4 10-foot-wide steel-cased shafts in the upcoming weeks, confirming the flood tunnel's location becomes crucial. Blocking off the flood tunnel could significantly enhance their chances of discovering the source of the detected silver and gold. The meeting ends with a unanimous decision to proceed with additional drilling to explore Marty's theory. Later that day, the team begins drilling to block the flood tunnel, a crucial step before digging into the Money Pit. Meanwhile, Gary Drayton and his team uncover a fascinating object at the swamp's southern edge. Inspecting the artifact, Gary notices a square hole, suggesting its potential importance. The wooden item, adorned with square-shanked fasteners, captures their interest. Gary speculates about its potential maritime origin dating to the early 1700s or earlier. Could this be evidence of a ship hidden in the swamp, supporting the theory of a treasure-laden ship concealed by Sir William Phipps? If Gary's assumptions hold, the wooden artifact could indicate a period preceding the 1700s, opening new perspectives on Oak Island's history. This could be a potential link to Scott Clark's theory of a large silver cache hidden by Sir William Phipps. As the team gears up for more exploration, Rick and Marty Lagina and their crew discuss their search plan. Despite finding interesting items, they face a challenging issue: limited time. The necessity for water in the wash plant forces a tough decision: to halt the swamp excavation in 2 weeks. The brothers share their frustration, knowing there might be more treasures below the swamp's surface. The team focuses on digging in the money pit area to uncover evidence of the detected gold and silver. This involves using large steel case shafts, and the collected materials will be carefully examined in an industrial wash plant. However, there's a legal hurdle: they can't use seawater. They must rely solely on the freshwater spring feeding the swamp. The scale of the upcoming work becomes clear. The swamp is very important in revealing Oak Island's secrets. Part 4: Smith Cove Wall and Chapel Vault. The Lagina brothers made a major discovery at Smith's Cove as they faced a massive wall that promised to solve the 228-year-old Oak Island mystery. The absence of metal within the concrete sparks curiosity, leading the team to consider dating the material. Rick points out the ancient Romans' ability to create underwater-setting concrete, dating back to the 3rd century BC. The discovery suggests a potential link between the knowledge of the ancient Romans and the intricate booby-trapped flood tunnels on Oak Island, hinting at a construction method akin to Roman methods. The presence of an unknown wall near other structures sparks hope of finally solving the mystery surrounding who built it, when, and for what purpose. Attention then turns to mysterious rubber pipes found within the concrete wall, and the team speculates that the pipe's unusual rubbery texture may date back to the mid-19th century. Later that day, the Oak Island team, including Rick and Marty Lagina, gathered in the war room to discuss the confusing things happening at Smith's Cove. Rick talked to the team about their ups and downs that day, especially when they found a concrete structure while following the slipway. This discovery made everyone excited but also puzzled. Even after looking at the pictures, the team still needs clarification. They start discussing the concrete structure and the strange things about it, like the 2-inch pipes in it. Marty admits that despite his creative thinking, he needs help figuring out what the pipes are for. To get some ideas, one team member suggested that maybe the concrete wall is older than the pipes sticking out of it. Could people searching for treasure in the 19th century change an old structure for their own reasons? The team considers this possibility, recognizing the long history of people searching for treasure on Oak Island. The discussion then shifts to the slipway, a large ramp leading up to the money pit. Rick expresses his belief in its authenticity and significance, referring to it as the Glory Road, where significant discoveries might lie. The team concludes the meeting with a sense of purpose and heads back to Smith's Cove. Later on, as they keep digging at Smith's Cove, Rick Lagina and Dave Blankenship visit Dan Blankenship, a seasoned treasure hunter on Oak Island. They want Dan's help figuring out the mysterious concrete wall they found earlier that day. Dan Blankenship has over 50 years of experience on Oak Island, and he knows much about what's happened there. In the early 1970s, he and his partner, David Tobias, built a big copper dam at Smith's Cove while looking for the legendary stone box drains. Dan found important things during that project, like 2 large wooden structures, one shaped like an L and the other like an U. When Rick and Dave show Dan a diagram of the sheet pile, they start talking about the strange concrete wall. The wall is 5 inches thick and 3 feet high with pipes at the bottom, and everyone is trying to understand who built it. Rick wants to know more about it, and Dan says it was likely built before 1950, ruling out Rondo's work in 1965. Dan talks about the difficulties with historical records, saying there needs to be more documentation for the work done at Smith's Cove. The uncertainty about whether the work was original or done by treasure hunters makes it hard to understand the island's history. They start talking about the slipway, the old pier in front of the concrete wall. Rick says it's really important to figure out how old the slipway is because that could help them understand where the structures came from. Dan agrees and suggests using carbon dating, to determine how old the slipway is. As they talk, they mention how there are no fasteners in the slipway, and Gary Drayton thinks it might have been used to unload heavy things from a ship. They realize that building something like this takes a lot of clever thinking. The more they find, the more questions they have about the history of Oak Island. Feeling like there's still a lot they don't know, Rick and Dave decide to return to Smith's Cove to get more answers. They understand that finding the secrets of Oak Island will be a long journey, and there's still a lot to figure out. So they go back to the drawing board, ready to solve the mysteries hidden beneath the surface of Smith's Cove. The next day, Marty Lagina and his partner, Craig Tester, met with Mike from Irving Equipment Limited to discuss the ongoing digging at the HH shaft. They're focused on figuring out how far the plug has fallen, an important measurement for their work. Marty stresses how important it is to be super accurate with their calculations. Working with people from Irving Equipment Limited, the team keeps digging at the HH shaft. They found many interesting things there, like bits of paper, parts of old books, bones from the 17th century, and signs of a big wooden box that could be 7 feet tall. These findings connect to stories from treasure hunters dating back to 1897. There's a problem, though. When they tried to drill into a mysterious object with a 50-inch wide tool, it got pushed to the side and ended up in a big muddy hole about 170 feet deep. But the Oak Island team doesn't give up. They devise a plan to lift the heavy steel tool a few feet, hoping to find important clues or even the hidden vault they're looking for. To do this, they're using a 3-ton hammer grab tool. Talking to John, who's in charge of watching the tape during the operation, becomes important. The team plans a systematic approach, moving the heavy tool up and down, dropping it about 15 feet each time and measuring to see if anything changes. Their main goal is to lift the tool enough to bring back important things in the shaft. While doing this, the team notices a lot of wood at that depth, making them wonder if it could be connected to the chapel vault. This is surprising because they thought the depth had limits. They're excited about the possibility of finding the legendary box that's believed to hold the Oak Island treasure. As they continued the operation, the team carefully examined the wood pieces coming from the HH shaft. They know that each piece could be an important clue. Examining the spoils closely is a big part of their effort, hoping to find more evidence or clues about the treasure. They find a big piece that isn't completely black, so they keep it aside for more analysis. Another interesting discovery is a fibrous material that looks like parchment, adding to the mystery of what lies beneath the surface of Oak Island. In 1897, while looking for treasure, William Chappell found a small piece of material with the letters "By" on it. This discovery led to different ideas about the Oak Island treasure, like thinking it could be lost writings of William Shakespeare, or important historical documents connected to the Knights Templar. The team decides to carefully put the material in a bag, knowing it could be important. They hope that removing the plug in the HH shaft might reveal more valuable things, just like they expected from the exploration in AJ the previous year. Charles and Rick happily show the find to the rest of the team, saying how important it could be. The team understands that this discovery is fragile and hopes to find even more important things in the future. Craig Tester and his stepson Jack Begley and island historians Paul Troutman and Doug Kroll are at the Oak Island Research Center. They bring artifacts from the HH shaft, specifically from the 160-foot level, to look closer. The first thing they check is a piece of leather. They use a microscope to see if there are any patterns or details. They talk about the color in the leather, wondering if it's from a mineral or some kind of ink. Craig is still determining, and the team agrees they need an expert to analyze it. Then, they look at possible pieces of parchment. One piece has folds that look like parchment. They see red, yellow, and pink lines and wonder if something might be written on this piece of paper. The team thinks the colors are like the ones used in ancient books, especially in fancy letters at the beginning of paragraphs or chapters. They discuss historical practices, mentioning large fancy letters called drops, used in the 5th century AD. These decorative letters were often found in religious texts and important documents with elaborate artwork. The team finds it interesting that one side of the material is fibrous, but the other side looks flatter. What could have been the content of this parchment? What history once rested in its pages? Randall Sullivan's theory. A new day starts on Oak Island, and the team, including Rick and Marty Lagina, Craig Tester, and others, keeps digging in the H.H. shaft at the Money Pit. Randall Sullivan, an investigator and writer studying the Oak Island mystery for over 20 years, shows up. He's finished a new book about the treasure hunt and gives signed copies to the Lagina brothers. Curious about Sullivan's research, the team gathers in the war room to talk. Sullivan talks about believing in the basic truth of the Money Pit's origin story, focusing on the possibility that 3 teenagers found something. He's looked into early stories of the search, like the 90-foot stone and the first flood. Sullivan's book looks at historical proof that Sir Francis Bacon, who lived in the 17th century, might be connected to Oak Island. According to the theory, Bacon brought William Shakespeare's original writings and buried them on the island in a lead box with mercury. The team discusses the historical evidence, Bacon's wisdom, and the chance that Bacon set up the treasure hunt to teach people something. The instructions to dig a pit upon the seashore match the idea of the Money Pit. Sullivan talks about Bacon wanting to make a never-ending spring. The team thinks the idea is interesting and finds historical writings that support it. Sullivan also suggests looking for an entrance that's now underwater, making the team think about searching in the water for a possible way in. They discuss the idea of more than one flood tunnel and the need to stop trap systems that let water in to get the treasure. The team thinks about the chance of a second flood tunnel on the south shore, next to the Stone Triangle, an area they need to learn more about. As they think about the new information and theories, Sullivan says he's interested in exploring more. The story shows how deep the history goes and how the team plans their next steps to uncover the mysteries of Oak Island. After meeting in the war room, Rick, Marty, and Craig return to the Money Pit site. Meanwhile, Jack Begley, Charles Barkhouse, and Dan Henske kept going through the stuff dug up from the H.H. shaft, looking for possible clues. They talk about the progress, saying the plug in the can is now 24 feet. The team is excited, thinking that what they're finding might show something important, so they take a closer look. Jack finds something interesting, a dark piece that looks like parchment. They wonder again if this could be more proof that old books and documents are part of the Oak Island treasure. They decide to put it in a bag for more checking. Another interesting find is a piece that looks like bone. They wonder where it came from and if it could be human remains. Thinking about last year's discoveries, including parchment and bones, they wonder if this could be connected to one of the 17th century people whose bones they found before or someone they still need to identify. Dan Henske is hopeful about the findings and suggests sending pictures for more information. The team wants to study these discoveries more because each piece of evidence helps them understand more about the mysteries of Oak Island. They talk about the importance of using real science in the search and hope that, as the year goes on, they'll find the one thing that unlocks the truth about Oak Island. The swamp area. Despite a 2-month delay because of COVID-19, the team has found important things this year. They discovered signs that the swamp used to be a harbor or waterway, finding things like an old stone dock, cargo barrels from the 15th century, and a path made of smooth stones. These findings suggest that there might have been a secret plan to bring heavy stuff to this area. Now that winter is coming, the team is still following the path, hoping it leads to the original Money Pit, looking back at things they've found like old pots and a burned metal rod. They have more information about how old the path is, and the burnt rod might be related to a big sailing ship. The team feels positive about the clues they're discovering. But the big question is, how much more do they need to do to find out what's buried at the end of the stone path? They keep searching, looking closely at every part. Later, treasure hunter Dan Henske takes the burnt iron rod to blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg for a closer look. Carmen checks the rod, noticing its size and a broken piece that looks like it used to be an eye bolt. He thinks it might be from the late 1600s. This surprises everyone, especially because it could be connected to the large iron bolts they found in the swamp, also from the 17th century. The team believes these bolts might have been used to move heavy things from a ship to Oak Island. Carmen explains that the rod's design, with a solid piece attached to a ring bolt, is typical of something related to anchoring ships or ship parts. He suggests it could be linked to ship activities, aligning with Oak Island's maritime history. Later in the day, while some of the team keeps working in the swamp, Marty Lagina's son, Alex, joins the efforts at Samuel Ball's foundation on Oak Island. Alex is helping with the cleanup and final digging at the site. Archaeologists Leard Niven and Alex Lagina carefully look for clues about Samuel Ball's connection to the money pit as they dig through the soil. During their work, they find something interesting, a piece of pottery. Alex, impressed with their patience in using a small tool for digging, shows interest in what they're doing. Then Alex makes a special discovery, a coin. It looks old with uneven edges and an off-center design. Noticing the coin's uniqueness, Alex hands it to Leard Niven, mentioning that it seems a bit off-center. The team is doing this detailed work on the Ball Foundation to explore if Samuel Ball had a closer connection to the money pit. Realizing the coin's potential importance, they bag it and take it to the research center for a closer look. Later that afternoon, following a chilly fall rainstorm that temporarily halted work near the swamp and at the Ball Foundation, Alex Lagina and Leard Niven gathered with Rick, David, and Gary Drayton in the research center to share a significant discovery. Alex explains that they were sifting through the material from the most recent test pit near the house's northwest corner. They reveal an object with an anchor or cross design, prompting a discussion about its interpretation. As they examine the artifact, they notice 3 anchors, one on the right, a large one in the middle, and another on the left. Leard Niven points out waves and a rope design, identifying it as a British Navy jacket button. The team is astonished, and Alex wonders about the period. Gary Drayton provides the information that the button dates from 1804 to 1825, fitting solidly within the period of Samuel Ball. The excitement grows as they consider the implications of finding a British Navy button in Ball's former home. While Ball was part of the British military during the American Revolution, there's no record of him being in the British Navy. They discuss the possibility of the button belonging to an officer due to its gold or gilded appearance. The idea that an officer's presence in Samuel Ball's house could be a significant revelation dawns on the team. They speculate about the connection between the button and Ball's mysterious wealth. Rick suggests that it's a Royal Navy button, indicating the presence of someone of importance on a ship. The realization that this could be a big deal in uncovering more about Samuel Ball's life and wealth settles in. The following morning, Gary Drayton, Aaron Taylor, and Miriam Amiralt are near the northeastern border of the swamp, continuing their search for valuable clues along the mysterious stone pathway and evidence of its destination. David Fornetti and Gary Drayton have been busy and decided to resume metal detecting in the area. They plan to zigzag along the pathway and investigate potential signals. As they scan the ground, an iron signal is detected. Gary and David decide to dig to explore further. The signal seems to be coming from an area with cobbles. They investigate, considering the possibility that the signal may be under a rock, which could predate the laying of the cobbles. After digging, they discovered a blasting cap from the seismic survey conducted 2 years ago. While it's not the treasure-related find they were hoping for, they reflect on the significance of the survey, which revealed a large anomaly resembling the shape of a sailing vessel buried in the swamp. Despite the disappointment, the team remains hopeful for a large-scale dig next year, aided by a massive sheet piling cofferdam, to unravel the mystery of the buried anomaly. Undeterred, Gary and David continue metal detecting. They receive another signal, and as they dig, they uncover a square red nail with a square shank. Gary recognizes it as an ox shoe nail, a fastener that attaches ox shoes. This discovery further supports the notion of a road or path associated with some kind of treasure operation. Later that afternoon, the man of the hour, Stuart Wenzel, meets Rick Lagina and team members in the research center. Stuart, a local treasure hunter who worked with Dan Blankenship in the 1970s, is here to share his insights and experiences. Rick acknowledges Stuart's long history on Oak Island, working with Dan and being familiar with the island's mysteries. The team is particularly interested in Stewart's knowledge of Obi-Kamingat, two stone structures near the Samuel Ball lot, especially after finding a British naval button in the Ball Foundation. Stewart discusses his findings from the 1970s, mentioning rocks in the bay near the Samuel Ball lot. Rick is intrigued, connecting this information to the recent discovery of the naval button. The team sees this as an opportunity to explore the ocean side of Samuel Ball's life. In the meeting, Stewart points out two locations, both with the remains of stone structures that could be old wharves. The team is eager to investigate these potential clues, considering their historical significance and Samuel Ball's wealth mystery. Excited about the prospects, Rick, Marty, and the team plan a dive operation. They intend to explore the waters off lots 25 and 26 at the western end of Oak Island, where Stewart believes the remains of the piers might be. The next scenes show the team heading out to the dive site. Stewart and professional divers Tony Sampson, Alex Lagina, and David Fernetti are ready to explore the underwater mysteries. They set out from the Oak Island Resort and Marina, determined to uncover what lies beneath the surface. Underwater, Tony Sampson dives into the murky waters to investigate the potential wharves. The team awaits updates from Tony, who communicates through a radio system. Tony reports his findings, confirming the presence of stone structures resembling wharves. However, he doesn't detect any metal objects or valuable clues. Returning to the boat, Tony shares dive details with the team. He describes the size and characteristics of the discovered wharves, mentioning the flat rocks and cribbing structures. Stewart is pleased to see evidence supporting his claims. The team reflects on the significance of finding two piers, with one being particularly large. They discuss the potential purposes of such structures and the implications for Samuel Ball's activities. Stewart suggests that the larger wharf might have served commercial or military purposes. Intrigued by the discoveries, the team heads back to the war room to analyze the information further. They watch video footage from the dive, discussing the cribbing and flat rocks at the wharf sites. As the season draws to a close, the team faces the challenges of winter and time constraints. Yet, they remain determined to uncover the ultimate discovery that could shed light on the profound events that took place centuries ago on Oak Island. The mystery deepens, and the team is ready to overcome any obstacles in their quest for the truth. Are you ready to embark on an adventure? Like the Lagina brothers and their team, you need reliable gear to withstand any challenge. Introducing the Tough Phone Case, a treasure that will protect your phone from any bumps, drops, or scratches. With its stylish design and rugged durability, you can confidently explore the world. Refrain from settling for a flimsy case that can't keep up with your lifestyle. Join the quest for the ultimate protection and style. Click on your screen or check out the first link in the description to discover the Tough Phone Case today. Do you think the Laginas would unveil the island's treasures before the year ends? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe to more interesting videos like this.